Are dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. This show is live video. So if you're only listening right now, maybe in your car or on your laptop, and you want to watch the show live, you can go to the Queen of Dreams or www.KathleenO'KeefeCanvas.com. I know that's a mouthful. It's KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com, or just Google the Queen of Dreams and my website will come up. And up in the right-hand corner, you'll see Dreaming Healing, Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Click that button. It'll take you right to my Dreaming Healing website, and you can watch the show live. And if you'd like to call in during the show with any questions, all you have to do is call 646-558-8656, and the ID is 8836-953587. And then just hit the pound key, and that way you can either listen or chat. And if you didn't have a pencil to write all that down, if you go to my website and go to Dreaming Healing, and it takes you to the website on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, the phone number is right there. So anyhow, what if peace on earth was actually possible? David Gershon and Suzanne Gregorio are here to tell us about Peace on Earth by 2030 game. You heard me right. Peace on Earth by 2030 game. And this is quote unquote, we are building a movement of DreamKeepers. Those who believe peace on earth is possible and are committed to making it a reality. We're going to talk more about that soon, but first, let's start the show with my favorite protection and clearing meditation. For those of you who are new and haven't done this before, if you're driving right now, please don't close your eyes. It will still work. During the meditation, we're going to be using something that is small but really powerful to you. So maybe it could be something that is given to you in a dream or by a loved one, a guardian angel, spirit guide, or a deceased loved one. Like it could be an amulet, piece of jewelry, or it could be your favorite flower, your favorite crystal, anything that holds the power of love for you. That is going to be your power gift. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take in these 3 really deep breaths. And each breath is going to collect any negativity that you may have heard or felt or seen during the week. It's going to be collected into that breath of life, and we're going to blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's going to be converted into beautiful golden light so that we're not going to litter the universe. Okay? So what I want you to do is settle into your chair, and after we've taken our 3 deep breaths, we're going to take our power gift and we're going to create a mirrored circle around us, a protection circle. that's only going to allow that which is of the highest and best for us to come in, and anything else will just be reflected back from whence it came. Okay, ready? All right, sit comfortably. Just kind of get nice and comfy. We're going to take in the 3 deep breaths. Okay, feel yourself becoming centered. Take in a deep breath. Hold it. Now blow it across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Again, a deep breath in. Imagine any little tiny bits of negativity getting caught up in that breath like pepper. Blow it across the room. One more time, deep breath in. Imagine any stubborn little negativities getting sucked in. Blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Empty out your lungs. Get everything out of your lungs. Now imagine holding your power gift in your hand, and we're going to create a mirrored bubble all around our body, all around our head, all around our feet. And this mirrored bubble is only going to allow that which is of the highest and best for us, brought by our spirit guides, to come into that bubble. Anything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, just slowly open your eyes and feel yourself coming back into your body. You know, the planet's wisdom keepers have said something that's very interesting. They say that when 1/2 of 1% of humanity wholeheartedly believe peace on earth is possible, that's 40 million people, there will be enough coherence of thought and emotion to shift our collective consciousness to make this a reality. With each DreamKeeper activating 2 new DreamKeepers a year, and every peace on earth zone activating 2 new peace on earth zones a year, they say we will reach 40 million DreamKeepers and a peace on earth zone in every city and town in the whole world by 2030. Can you imagine that? Well, David Gershon and Suzanne Gregorio are here to tell us about Peace on Earth by 2030 game. Their complete websites are on my Dreaming Healing website. Welcome to the show, David and Suzanne.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
So let's start. Instead of me reading any more about you, why don't you just tell our audience a little bit about yourselves? And let's start with you, Suzanne. Tell us a little bit about you.
I live in Louisville, Kentucky, and I graduated from the University of Kentucky with a degree in political science, a field of concentration in international relations. And I managed a food pantry for a community ministry and coordinate the volunteers for them in Louisville. And I have a 25-year background in grassroots organizing for anything from environmental causes to health and wellness to peace. So it's been quite a part of my journey.
What an amazing journey. What a great journey. And David Gershon, tell us a little bit about you, because you've got a pretty amazing history here.
Well, I would say that I am one of the DreamKeepers. So I am one of those people who believe that amazing things can happen if we believe it. And then we have the tools and the perseverance to make it happen. So I've been working on this dream since 1976. So many, many years. And it started with me organizing something called the First Earth Run. We passed this torch of peace around the world and had 1 billion people connect with it through the media. and 25 million people directly participate in 45 heads of state. Wherever the torch of peace went, all war stopped and the world was united as one. And what we did was we took the strategies that made that happen, that made the impossible possible, and we put it into this game, the Peace on Earth by 2030 game, which is 7 distinct behaviors and frequencies, if you will, that if played by a team and by individuals who are part of that team, start to transform themselves and ultimately the world around them, because they really start to change the way you show up in the world. So peace on earth really begins with each individual changing their own behaviors and their own consciousness.
So you believe that world peace is possible by 2030, is that correct?
The only thing, absolutely correct.
Okay.
The only thing that's stopping it is the people who don't believe it.
Uh-huh.
Because anything is possible.
I agree.
Possible become possible through that event that by all standards should not have happened, but it did. And then there is this opportunity to bring in what you might call grace. I love that you've invoked Saint Germain. He's a good partner of ours. We call him our patron for this. And he very much always talks about the only thing stopping people from believing in a new possibility is their own beliefs that it's not possible, and everything is possible. So I feel very connected with his energy. So I'm so happy you invoked him.
Great,
So,
what a great synchronicity.
Yes, the beginning of great synchronicity. So, and we're off on a journey. 70,000 people were there at our launch event, where we have 35 cities, one of which is Louisville. Suzanne is leading the charge. She'll tell you all about that. Creating these Peace on Earth zones, which are where we start to heal the divides that separate us and start showing up in this new way in our relationship to one another.
Well, I find this Peace on Earth 2030 game very exciting. So Suzanne, tell us your feelings about this Peace on Earth by 2030 and what you're doing in Louisville.
So in Louisville, as David said, we are one of the POE Zones. We signed up for the beta pilot, which means the people in the alpha pilot and the beta pilot are the ones who are kind of developing the best practices or helping David with that. And so here in Louisville, we're about to start a youth team at a school. And we will be doing some youth teams within the Unity churches here come summer, and possibly some adult teams as well. So that's our start. And I'm also reaching out to already established organizations, trying to onboard them as well.
Wow. So you're working, David, you're working with, are you working with Unity Church all over the country, or is that only in Louisville?
Well, I mean, where we are is we're piloting this in about half a dozen cities. There's 35 that have signed up around the world. Mm-hmm. And when one institution like Unity says yes, then sometimes it spreads very quickly. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of those kinds of national and global organizations that are quite interested in this. We're also working with lots of really interesting groups like the veterans groups and most interesting groups. As more people and businesses that want to do this for their employees and for their communities, pretty much any organization that says, I want to create a better world, I want to create a better community, I want to heal the divides in our community, are natural allies.
Great. Well, you know, the third book that I'm writing with Sacred Stories Publishing, the foreword in it is written by Reverend Temple Hayes of Southern Florida here, Unity Southern Florida, St. Petersburg. I'd love to make an introduction to her and you guys, bring you guys together, because I think that this is something that she very well might be interested in, because she is all about peace on earth. And I think that this just might be something she would. Well,
they would be a natural ally because they have the spiritual orientation and they understand the power of belief systems to create realities. And fundamentally, you know, so many of those organizations want to do good. They just don't have the tools of how to get it to that next level beyond just the spiritual work. Mm-hmm. So we are very aligned with groups like that. So we'd be
great. Well, let's make that happen. We'll do that. Yeah. We'll talk after the show. I want to know more about these DreamKeepers. So, Suzanne, tell us a little bit about what you envision as a dream keeper.
So DreamKeeper is what you become once you've gone through all the actions and played the game. So a person can play on that level, just play the game and then move on, or they can become part of a POE Zone, which is developing the whole idea in a region and creating opportunities for people to work together in this model. And so that I'm a POE Zone coordinator, so I've done both. I've played the game. I'm now a DreamKeeper. I believe we have 2 so far in Louisville, and that I know of. And then I'm developing the POE Zone.
Let me explain what it means to be a DreamKeeper, because I mean, Suzanne is a DreamKeeper, but let me tell you what the accomplishment is that she is reflecting by saying. So the game is organized around 7 distinct, should we say, actions or strategies, and they also represent frequencies, so higher frequencies. So as you play it, you learn the practices, but you also start to transform your consciousness and you start operating at these higher frequencies. So let me explain the 7 frequencies and the 7 actions. But when you've gone through all 7 of them, you have gone on a transformational journey. So yes, this is peace on earth, but it starts with peace within the person and peace within the person's world. So it's not just an inner peace, it's an outer peace. So everyone that you're interacting with is influenced by how you show up. So let me share with you the 7 frequencies that the game speaks to. And then I'll explain the actions associated with. The very first frequency is the frequency of oneness. So you begin to befriend the others, those that are different from you, those who you might normally reject. I think Suzanne was telling about this group that they began to work with. I think it was called Rednecks for Black Lives. And did I get that name right? It's hard.
Oh yeah. When I got on their conference call, to learn how we can connect. Yeah.
And there's so many versions of that. So you start to reach out to those who are different from you. And that frequency is the frequency of oneness, which is the oneness with all of humanity, oneness with your higher self, oneness with everybody in your life. So that's a very powerful frequency. And now imagine 10%, 20% of Louisville showing up this way. And you start to see what a POE Zone starts to feel like and look like. Because ultimately you start hitting tipping points. So the second one, and 1/2 of 1% of Louisville starts to create this. There's not a lot of people required to do this once they start operating in this way. And this may be the beginning, you and this show, because you're based in this region of the world. The second one is the frequency of faith, And this is reaching out to others, inviting them to play the game. And inviting them to believe and have faith that this kind of world is possible, a world that we've never seen, but can dream into existence if we wish. And there you actually have to reach out to others and invite them to play. And that's where the faith comes in, is having faith that this can work, having faith that even if you haven't fully played the game, you can still have the influence. So it takes you on a journey to go to that place to believe such a thing is possible. The third action, which is empowering the children to befriend the other, we call the frequency of empowerment. And this is helping people move from victim to agency, from I can't to I can, from the world is going down the tubes to the world that I dream can come into existence. So that's what happens when you empower children. And the person empowering them, like a Suzanne, starts to get empowered by the virtue of bringing them in, because they often don't have any of these limiting beliefs, but we do. So they help us get rid of our limiting beliefs. That's the third frequency. And the fourth frequency is what we call the frequency of unity. And this is creating unitive events in a community where people come to see that which they share in common, their common humanity. And so we look for opportunities to build those kinds of events. And Suzanne can tell you all about her journey once I've set it up, because she's had to.
Yeah, I have some notes for points, yeah.
There'll be wonderful stories, so it'll come real alive, but I'm giving you the context. And I'll also invite you, Suzanne, to share how these frequencies have influenced you. When sort of co-create with you, Kathleen, a question that might be of interest for everybody. And then the fifth one is what we call the frequency of cooperation. So the team and individuals have to reach out and look for cooperation for the common good opportunities. Where are people not cooperating? Where could greater cooperation take place? So the frequency of cooperation. The 6 is on abundance. Everyone playing the game is invited to contribute financially to an organization furthering one or more of these principles. So the principle of oneness, the principle of cooperation for the common good, or the principle of building these unitive fields. So we're not looking to support groups that are anti. This is just pro the world we want, not what we don't want. So we want to support those groups. And if groups are on that path but haven't quite gone over to that side yet, we invite them to do that. And the last of the 7 frequencies is love. And this is about praying for peace on earth, which is an act of self-love, an act of love beyond yourself. I shouldn't say self-love, an act of love for the greater good. So those are the 7 frequencies, and people do these prayers for peace on earth, and they create prayer vigils and so on. So those are the actions. We have tens of thousands of people playing right now all over the world. Hopefully some of your people will be interested in joining. But Suzanne, I mean, anything you want to ask before we shift to Suzanne on any of that, Kathleen?
Well, when we've got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll ask Suzanne to chime in on this. Absolutely. So don't go away. We're going to be right back. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7radio.com. And I'm your host, Kathleen Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, AKA the Queen of Dreams. We're talking about DreamKeepers tonight, so this is right in tune with us. So you can type it into your Google search bar and my website will come right up.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke. Forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life. Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
How did life start on Earth, and why is there so much suffering? Are we living in a simulated reality like the characters in the Matrix movie? Do parallel dimensions exist alongside ours, influencing our experience? What are the mysterious dark energies that penetrate our universe? Peter Canova folds space and time to bring the twin bookends of ancient wisdom and quantum science into a single focal point, answering these and many other deep mysteries of the creation. Quantum Spirituality can be heard every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. See the show where past and present merge to show us our future.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat. Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to happy. Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to the second segment of our show tonight, and we're talking about the Peace on Earth by 2030 game, and it's actually called POE, P-O-E, in case you ever see it anywhere. Peace on Earth 2030, and we're speaking with David Gershon, and that's DavidGershon, and David is the author of 10 books, including the best-selling Empowerment, The Art of Creating Your Life as You Want It, and Low Carbon Diet, a 30-day program to lose 5,000 pounds. I think that might be wrong, but we'll talk about that. And then our second guest tonight is Suzanne D. Gregorio. And Suzanne, I've got to brag on you because you were in the book with me with Dr. Larry Burke, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases, which won the Nautilus Book Awards. And we're talking again about Peace on Earth by 2030 game. So David, let me ask you quickly, did I really mess up one of your books there?
No. Well, it's interesting. There's actually now 12 books. So that was an older bio, but no, so low carbon diet is about reducing your carbon footprint. And it is a play on words, 5,000 pounds.
Okay. I was like,
so
it got rid of 5,000.
It did its job actually to get that response. Exactly what
it worked.
And in fact, in supermarkets, people have these little bags and they carry it around and says, "Ask me how I lost 5,000 pounds," and always gets people's attention. So
yes,
5,000 pounds is
That's great.
part of our work outside of the Peace on Earth world is also a lot of work I do around climate and helping to transform our trajectory into a better future. So similar principles as we have in the Peace on Earth game.
So David, how can we find you? Can you share your website with us?
There's different places to find me, but the one that would be most interesting for people would be reinventing.earth. That lays out our biggest idea of all the changes that we want to bring about in the world. And the one that's related to the game is peace2030.earth, peace2030.earth. So those are two ways to find me.
Okay. And Suzanne D. Gregorio, tell us how we can find you.
Right now, we do not have our Louisville POE Zone website up yet. So it would just be poezonelou@gmail.com. So POEZONELOU @gmail.
Nice.
It's okay, great. All right. So just before the break, we were talking about the 7 frequencies. So we had to take a break right at the end. It was perfect timing so far. Everything's just been going so well. I'm so excited with this show. So Suzanne, tell us a little bit about your insights to these 7 frequencies.
Oh, thank you for asking, because it's been so transformative. I'm just thrilled to get to tell you. So within it, we approach each action from an empowerment framework, because we're trying to identify what our next growing edge is in that action. And so we start, well, where am I in this action? Where do I want to be? What are some of the challenges that can pop up so we can address it? And then what steps are we going to take to get to that growing edge? And so I'm going to give you an example of our experiences in a couple of, 3 of these actions. So action 1 is befriending the other, as David says. And we had a lot of discussion on our team, like, well, what can befriending mean? It has the obvious meaning, like David said, of acknowledging and engaging with people that you might otherwise pass by, but it could also be repairing a relationship. It could be bringing people together for a common cause. Now, I'm not a shy person. And so I knew that I could just walk up to anybody, that wasn't a challenge. So I knew I had to really dig deep. And I had my opportunity one day at work. As I said, I run a food pantry. And in Louisville, the way the community ministry system is set up, you only serve the people who live in your zip code. That has to do with resources. And also we have some federal programs, so it prevents duplication of services. Well, I get a call from a man and he says, my whole family has COVID. We're so sick. We have no food. We can't get to the food pantry in my area. Can you help me? And so I paused, and in my head, I said, how can I befriend this person in this moment? And what I came to was, as Suzanne of this community ministry, I can't do anything, but my church is right next to this other food pantry, and I'm on outreach. I'm a member of a Unity church. That's my connection to Unity. And I'm on outreach, and so I called the outreach coordinator, and he says, well, I'd be happy to go over there and get that and bring that to them. And that's when I was like, oh, I get this game now. I get it. Because honestly, I don't know that I would have had that creative solutions going had I not been playing the game, because I would have thought, oh, there's nothing that I can do. And I would have been stuck in my box of thinking that way. And so I'm just really grateful for the game, because it is translated over into other day-to-day actions in my life. That had such an impact on me, that moment and that opportunity. And then, so for action 4, celebrating our common humanity, my teammate Tracy and I, we said, well, what is on our hearts right now? And we realized that the political polarization was really on our hearts. So we said, well, what can we do? We're just 2 people. But what we decided to do, God love us, was to bring together a group of people from the right and people from the left. Didn't know each other for conversation, but we had some very strict frameworks going on. One, we got it from the Better Arguments Project. So you take winning off the table. You're not here to win. You're just here to listen and to be heard, to prioritize the relationships, and to consider each other's context, and to embrace vulnerability, and to make room to transform in how we interact with one another. So in that very first meeting, we just had 2 questions. Tell us about your values and how you arrived at them. And then what do you wish the people from the other side understood about your values? So right there, you're going straight to the heart. This is about my life experience, my values. And these meetings have gone shockingly well. I mean, shockingly well, because people are so used to anymore being devalued or even dehumanized by people who don't agree with them. And then, so you're talking and you're seeing someone as a different position, looking you in the eye with compassion and hearing you, not necessarily agreeing with you. That's not the point of these meetings, but to just hear and respect each other. So, and I believe that just the willingness to sit down and civilly explore our shared humanity in that way is also befriending the other as well. So it's 2 actions. And then on the 5th action, cooperation for the common good. This one came to us quite organically. Louisville had a very cold snap. It was a freeze snap, actually, and the city was scrambling to get the homeless off the streets. And so the Unity Church opened its doors to the homeless community. And so Tracy, my teammate, called me and she said, "Hey, did you know our church is opening the doors homeless?" I said, "Yeah, I'm working on getting someone in there, but this person has so many food allergies. I'm concerned they won't be able to eat what they're cooking for them." She says, "Well, I'll go and I'll get the food and some of the other things this person needs." And Suzanne, this is spontaneous cooperation for the common good. And she's so excited. But a point I want to make about all this is we tend to think the things we do are the purpose. But what I've learned in this game is that they're not, they're the act. It's the befriending the other. That's the purpose. So with that food pantry incident, it helps you transcend your ego. So it's not, well, I'm here and you're here and I'm doing something for you. No, I'm doing this for you because I'm befriending you because you're a human being and you deserve it. So do you see the consciousness piece there? Mm-hmm. Where these bring it right up. It bypasses the ego.
Mm-hmm. You know, that ego, sometimes you just got to take that little guy and kick him to the curb for a second and say, how can I be of service? You know, David, I want to ask you, I mean, you are doing so much with this and you've been involved with so much. How were you drawn into this work? What motivated you to do this? Because this isn't just a side job. This isn't just an every now and then job. This is a full-time commitment.
Thank you for that question. Well, it started when I was 21 years old. And I realized as I was getting ready to go on my journey that I needed to figure out how to approach life. I just got out of college. And I realized, and I cared about the world, but I was not so interested in the way most people cared about the world. Most people were looking at the problems and how to solve them. And I wasn't trying to solve problems. I was asking a different question. I was asking the question, what's possible for our world and for my life, and how do I create it? And because that was my organizing principle for my life, the only limit to what I was doing was my imagination, and I have a vivid imagination, as you probably can tell by now. And so I just kept stepping out further and further and further. And eventually I built this work with my wife, our Empowerment Institute, which teaches people how to dream, if you will. We call it the art of creating your life as you want it. And I just kept dreaming bigger and bigger dreams. And along the way, it eventually got to the ultimate dreams. How do you create peace on earth? How do you transform the paradigm of war? Mm-hmm. How do you transform the whole trajectory around climate and heal the earth? How do you transform poverty in the developing world? How do you transform the way money is invested in social change, which is not really producing the kind of results that everyone would like to see? So we created something called a grand strategy to reinvent the planet, of which the Peace on Earth game is one of 5 levers. And that grows out of a book I wrote called Social Change 2.0, a blueprint for reinventing our world. So it begins with the question and then going on the journey, because you get very different answers when you ask that question.
I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do. Suzanne, I know that you had a dream about becoming involved with the Peace on Earth 2030. So do you want to share that with us? Because, you know, I'm all about dreams, just in case those of you out there in the audience haven't figured that out yet. I dream everything before it happens. So I want to hear about this really bad.
I would love to. And Kathleen, I love that I get to talk about Peace on Earth by 2030 on a show about dreams, because I don't even think David knows how I was led to this work in a series of dreams, just like I was told that I had cancer when I was under no medical suspicion of it, and then just talked my way into an MRI, and there it is.
You have so much in common.
And I'm not satisfied with just knowing that that happened. I want to understand why, because then I can use it, right? It's a practical skill. And
Yes.
so, like I said, I just told your listeners about my involvement with dreaming of having cancer. And I was asking myself after that, now, why did this happen? Why did I dream this? And I think it went back to a decision I'd made years earlier. I have an autistic son who suffers from epilepsy and migraines. And for years, it was pretty desperate. I mean, he suffered, it seemed like nonstop. And I just kind of said out loud, well, I have to figure out how to be immortal because he's going to need me for a very long time to be his champion. So I said to my body, if there's ever any threat to my health, you need to let me know. And I think that's exactly what happened with those cancer dreams. It said, okay. And it was like a survival instinct kicked in. So after that, well, let me back up. And so during cancer treatment, if you probably recall from the book, Kathleen, that I was very busy because not only was I getting chemo and all that comes along with that, I was working 30 hours a week. And I was running a lobby of parents of children with epilepsy, trying to get CBD oil legalized both in Kentucky and nationally. And I crashed and burned. I just crashed and burned. It was too much. And so I stopped we got the law, and I stopped being involved in anything like that because I said, if I'm going to take on anything in the future, it's going to have an empowerment piece, a self-care piece, and a consciousness piece. It was going to be rooted in that because grassroots organizing for causes, as important as that is, and these causes are, there's often a sense of desperation to it because someone needs something from the government that maybe the government doesn't want to give, like in the case of medical cannabis sometimes, or, environment or anything. And so people get very anxious, and then they start feeding off of each other's anxiety, and movements can split because of the stress. And so I was committed. I said, when I ever get back involved in anything, it's not going to be for a long time. That's what it's going to be. So winter of 2019, I start having dreams. David, you're going to
hold on to that thought, Suzanne, because we got to go for a break, but I want to hear all about that dream. That's why I was waiting to go to the break at this point.
Okay.
I got to hear that dream when we come back. Don't go away, everybody. We're going to be right back. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7Radio.com, and I'm your host, Kat Kanavos, aka the Queen of Dreams.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke, forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life. Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by three-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
In a world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to the last section of our show, Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7.com. And I'm your host, Kat Kanavos. And just before the break, we were speaking with Suzanne Gregorio about her dream for Peace on Earth 2030 game. She had a very interesting dream, and we spoke about it a bit just before the show, and I wanted her to share it with you. So Suzanne, take it away. Let's hear that dream.
Well, as is so often the case with these, it is a series of dreams. When they're guidance dreams for me, they tend to, once I accept one level, then it'll give me more. And so in the winter of 2019, I began dreaming that I'm going to be entering some kind of school, educational program. And Kathleen, you and I talked about this before, that sometimes you want to argue with the information. And I'm like, absolutely not going to graduate school. I'm 49 years old. Nope. And then I start dreaming, there's a teacher coming. And I'm like, okay, you mean like a mentor? I'll allow it. Who doesn't want a mentor, right? I'm like, okay. Then I start getting that I'm going to be teaching. And I'm like, no. I totally admire what teachers do, but that's not my call. I'm a connector and organizer. No, I was like, no. Well, so then the new year turned, and on my New Year's resolutions, I even put a little reminder tab in there that said, keep on a lookout for this program I'm supposed to enter. And I'm kind of even like mocking it, right? And then 2020 broke apart, and life seemed to slow down for a lot of people. But for me, it sped up because as an essential worker. So we had to revamp how we did everything in the food pantry, rolling each order 200 pounds of it outside. And I would come home tired, and I would watch a lot of Unified the World's programming, otherwise known as Unify, on Facebook, and just to relax. And I saw David Gershon talking about his Jedi trainings for the Peace on Earth by 2030 game. And I'm reading the description, and it's, consciousness, and it's empowerment and self-care. And I'm like, is this the teacher? Could this be the teacher? And now, I went on board and just signed up. And now I'm going to be teaching this to youth. So symbolically, I'm teacher. And what's so interesting, I was talking with you about the growing edges, and David knows this. When we first did the Jedi training, I'm so camera shy, or I tend to be, that I would be in the background with my microphone off and my camera off. By the end of the Jedi trainings, I was speaking and participating in front of 10,000 viewers on Unify, and now I'm on your show. I've done media before, but I'm never comfortable with it. So it took me to my growing edge, and it's pushing me, and I love it.
What a great dream. I love this. You're living your dream. I love it when we have a dream and then it filters into our waking world and the synchronicities start happening left and right, and boom, we're living the dream.
And I think the key is because I document it all. I think this probably happened all my life, and it just poof, it just went, and I didn't pay attention how one thing leads to another in life the way I do now. And now I can use it productively like I am.
And now we can all use it in the Peace on Earth by 2030 game. So David, back to you. If you wanted to leave our audience, because we're at the end of the show, believe it or not, this was such a great show. It went so fast. If you had to leave our audience with one last thought, what would it be?
The number one thing that I like to share with people is to be a person of hope. And the challenge humanity faces right now is we need to believe in ourselves as a species. And we have a lot of apocalyptic visions out there that are taking a lot of our bandwidth. And that doesn't help us. It doesn't help us because it pulls us down that rabbit hole. But more than that, whatever we focus on, we create, as you know. And so we want to invite people to dream a different dream for humanity. And that dream is peace on earth by 2030, the ability to reinvent the planet, the ability to create the golden age humanity, Saint Germain's dream, which I ascribe to as well. And, but if enough of us do that, Kathleen, we get to have a different world. And really, we can create that world. I've done it enough times. I've seen enough in the things that I've done to know that's very possible. And so now we're trying to encourage the entire species to show up in this new way. But we don't need the entire species. We only need 40 million, which is a little drop in the bucket. So anybody who feels like they are looking to have impact in the world, come visit us, peace2030.earth. Learn about this. You can become a team leader, and it tells you everything to do on the website, how to get involved, and do what Suzanne is doing. Start by having a team. Suzanne started by having a team. She didn't start with creating a POE zone, a Peace on Earth zone. She started having a team, and then it evolved very organically. So take it as far or as little as you wish. But minimally, it'll transform your life.
I invite all of the listeners tonight to become DreamKeepers. I think it's really important. Well, I want to thank you both for being on the show tonight. This has been an amazing show, David and Suzanne. And those of you watching, if you're interested in becoming a part of this, go to my Dreaming Healing website. All of the information is up there. All the websites are up there, and you can connect with David and Suzanne that way. I want to thank all of my listeners and all of my watchers, my audience, for making Dreaming Healing such a great success. If you have a dream and you don't want to share it live, email it to me on my website. Just Google Kat Kanavos website. Now read it on the show only using your first name. And for new listeners, there's a free gift for you in the upper right-hand corner of my website, and a promotion package for you published authors. And if you are a writer who would love to be in the third Sacred Stories of Transformation book series, Mayhem to Miracles. I mean, our whole world has been in that. And now we are embracing the miracles, even with Peace on Earth by 2030 game. The book has got James Redfield in it, Reverend Temple Hayes, Dr. Bernie Siegel. We've got an amazing group of authors in that book, and many media partners like Dennis Pitoko and CEO of Biz Catalyst 360 magazine. Just go to my website in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see Get Published. Click that and it'll take you to all the information. This show will be blogged on Pathos, Above and Beyond the Five Senses, made into an article for BizCat 360 Living Your Dreams, and posted on my Facebook professional page, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, author, speaker, dream expert, and Dreams That Can Save Your Life Facebook page, and the magazines for which I write. For those of you living in Palm Springs, watch for my articles on dreams in Desert Health, the Valley's leading resource for health and wellness, available everywhere in Palm Desert and online. So thank you again, David and Suzanne, for being with us tonight. And a big thank you to all of the people working on the back end of this, our producer, Rachel, and everybody else who's helped this go off without a glitch tonight after the last show we had. So until next week, I want everybody to embrace your dreams. And remember, it's time to wake up to our dream messages, because everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives, like Suzanne's. Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.